Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi.
Hello, my dear. This is going to be another goodie. Well, I mean, gosh, they're always goodies because otherwise we just wouldn't have the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. But we're going to talk today about tips to remind you that you are not your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. You don't even have to believe them, actually.
Yeah.
But before we get into our tips and our conversation for today, let's just all collectively bring our loving, heart-led energies here into this present space and time. So take a nice deep breath. Feel your feet on the floor or on the ground. And if you're sitting, feel yourself supported by the whatever you're sitting on. Feel yourself supported, held, seen. Take another nice deep breath. And now intend and pretend that you're breathing in and out of your heart. And if it feels comfortable to you to do so, and you're not driving, gently closing your eyes. Just visualize a beam, a stream, a ribbon, a cord of light. It can be any color you like, coming out of your heart with your out breath. So breathe in. Now breathe out and send out this beautiful beam of colored light, intending that you're sending it out around this planet. Breathe into your heart. Breathe out, sending your stamp of beautiful, illuminated, loving energy, interweaving with everyone else's beautiful, loving energy. And together we can create this beautiful blanket of unconditional love to connect us and to connect all beings, to blanket everything in unconditional love that we are a part of. Breathe into that. Anchor it into your heart. And acknowledge that you're a powerful being and you can come back into this blanket anytime you need to feel balanced, in flow, and connected. So one more deep breath, and maybe even put a hand over your heart to anchor it in there. And breathe out. And if you did have your eyes closed, just opening them and locating your note-taking device so that we can start sharing our tips with you. Our tips to remind you that you are not your thoughts. And like I said, not only are you not your thoughts, but you don't have to believe them. I think that's an important one too, eh?
Well, actually, when I was thinking, as we're starting, I'm like, well, you are your thoughts. My head went, actually, you are your thoughts, but you don't have to believe it and you can change it. Is what we,
Yes.
So I actually have to, like Moira was doing this beautiful heart coherent and I could feel it. And then I looked at our title and I went, but you are. And then I had to pull myself back to this beautiful heart coherent and went, no, but you are your thoughts. And then I went, hang on, go back to Moira. So there was a lot of internal thoughts going on when you were having that beautiful, everyone, just being honest, that was me. My head was like, on tangents. It was running a little bit of a marathon. So even tips to remind you that you're not your thoughts, well, you are. I'm just going to say, Deborah's just going to throw a whole spin and say you are, but they can change. So
True, true. But I want to take a step behind that and say, yeah, but you're the one that's listening to them.
I was going to say, but you're the one who created this anyway. So there's something bigger going on.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not going to be a simple podcast, people.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
just so you know, because we're already arguing at the front. Actually, this is Moira and I arguing, by the way. This is our arguing. We're already arguing about you are your thoughts and you're not your thoughts. So let's go. Let's go there, shall
Well,
we?
it's chicken and egg. Chicken and egg conversation.
It's the one. So I think tip number one is you are, but you're not. I think just reminding ourselves, like all jokes aside, I'm going to bring in the word trust. Reminding yourself that
As promised.
yeah, as promised here. Tip number one, trust. Trust that you can move through whatever you're going through right now. And if this thought is a positive or negative thought or any, and I'm going to throw in the positive thought, any of that stuff, just remind yourself that there is a bigger picture going on. Yourself are evolving, you're changing, people are changing around us. So just being aware that trust is important for us to get through this. Oh, Laura's got a serious look on her face. Here we go.
Well, I was just thinking into that you saying that you are and you're not, and you are and you're not. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
thinking. Thoughts come from the fourth dimension. It's said that the fourth dimension is where our emotions and our thoughts are. And so we are, yes, we are the author of them. We are the recipient, we are the reviewer of them.
Yeah.
However, it's a field. And so I think that that's kind of where I come from when I say you're not your thought, because we can pick up, it's like a radio dial, a radio station, right? So if we pick up a thought, let's say you're standing next to somebody who's got a very low opinion of themselves, saying, "Oh, I'm not good enough, I'm terrible, I'm," and then we start thinking that, who thought it?
Yeah.
And who is that? So that's what I'm saying, is that remember that thoughts are going to be there whether you think them or not. The propensity of our mind is to think. It's always going to do it. So who are you tuning into? I think that's kind of what I wanted to bring into this is you can change it, you can change the channel, you can change the narrative, right?
Well, I think, yeah, when you were just saying that, I was thinking leaning in. Who do you want to lean to and who lean back from was my just sort of summing up what you was just saying then. So lean in, be curious, be inquisitive, and lean out. Like, does that sum up sort of a bit of what you're saying?
Kind of, because I like the lean in and lean out, because that then says, that question I've often said is, how do I feel about myself here? So if I lean in, how do I feel about myself? Oh, I don't feel good enough. Oh, I feel like I'm comparing myself to somebody else. Then maybe that's a lean back and go, oh, do I have to do something? Do I have to do some personal work? Do I have to get some support? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I guess lean in, lean out, and be curious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, be curious at, oh, wonder what this represents, or what is this? What do I need to do here, or what's going to take me out of this, or
What do I get to learn here? Oh, what do I get to celebrate here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, curious has come up a few times in previous conversations, hasn't it?
But it's that. Well, then it goes back to that celebrate. I get to work on something, but that curiosity. If you think of a problem as if you think of a negative thought if you can change your negative thought to a curious, it automatically starts changing to something positive.
Definitely.
But actually, it's already started going, actually, I'm going to be curious. I'm going to, what does this represent? What's my body feeling? What's going on here? Just gives it I'm going to say, look, if I say fun, you're all going to think I have nothing better to do than my I can have fun. I do have fun, but I do get, it sounds like I'm this person who just goes, "Oh, what fun do you want to do on a Saturday night?" And curious about my emotions. Yay. Um, but there is a little aspect of, if you can have this little aspect of being curious and having a bit of fun to it, it's not a heavy, daunting, ooh, what does this mean? What does this represent? What's going, you're not in your gumboots in the mud. You're actually,
You're not
ooh,
stuck. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's that wonderment. Does that all make sense? I know what I'm trying to say.
No, I do really like what you're saying because the thing that I was thinking of when you started talking about that is that it removes you out of being jaded. You know what I mean about being jaded?
Oh,
Of course this is going to happen because this always happens to
yeah.
people like me and blah blah blah. Whereas
Ugh.
if you can
This
kind of
is
go,
it.
oh,
Ugh.
I
Yeah.
think the curiosity, there's a sense of pixie energy.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh.
Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. They're all like, yeah, Deborah has fun on a Saturday night. Yeah, totally.
But you see,
But
I
it's,
know that and maybe we need to come up with a bit different reframe because fun or not fun, it's a playful energy. Because I think we tend to take ourselves way too freaking seriously,
oh gosh, do
right?
we want? Yeah.
So this can help us break that apart and go, oh, wait a minute. This is
Mm.
supposed to be a game. This life is supposed to be a game. We're supposed to be having fun.
Well, there's so much seriousness out there.
Yes.
So much seriousness. Yeah, I won't tell you the other day, listeners, and you look at my social media, you'll see that I went around all day wearing two different slippers. Like I showed
There's
Moira.
pixie energy. There's pixie energy. Pixies with it.
Totally, two completely different slippers. And this stuff, what else can you do? So one was actually closed in and the other
Mhm.
was open toe. Like you could see my
Like
painted
they were so
toenails.
different.
They are so different. One's brown and one's
And pink.
Barbie doll pink, two different colors of pink. One has fluffy inserts where you can feel it, and the other has like a plastic sole when your heels feel different, like so different. And you know, if that, I had to laugh.
Of
Like what else?
course.
I
Like what else are you
literally,
gonna do? Cry
I
or
had worn
beat yourself
those.
up?
I had worn those all day in my office, out of my office, around my home, like back into my office all day, and I hadn't even realized. And if I had let that, and all I could do was laugh. I sat on the couch, I put my feet up on the chaise, and then I went, they're different shoes. And then went, how the heck? It wasn't actually heck, was the word I said, by the way. How the heck did that happen? They look different. They feel different. They're like, it's literally black and white.
Mm.
It's literally black and white. And I had to laugh because if I had just gone, oh, you stupid bitch, Deborah, you'd done that, you're just, who are you? You can't even tell the difference. Like if I had literally gone and done on a huge negative tirade on myself,
Mhm.
that wouldn't have helped with anything. All I
No.
could do was laugh. So I think that tips remind you, not your thoughts. When you have this, laugh.
Yep.
The, la, yeah, yeah, laugh,
Laugh.
laugh.
You know, because laughter changes our state, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Laughter changes our state. And so sometimes, actually, that's something else. I'm actually putting
I
change our
had to
state.
laugh. I had
You
to
had to
laugh.
laugh.
I had to laugh because what else could I do? I just
Mhm.
think about it. I just think.
So
Yeah.
change your state, I think is such an important piece. Laughter is a really good component to that, but changing our state. So let's say that you are caught up in a vortex of negative thoughts of like, oh my God, I screwed this up. I didn't do enough. I should have done this. Changing your state means get up, move, shake it off, go for a
Yeah.
walk, go pet your cat or your dog, and you.
It can't, yeah, it can't, it's as simple as that. Putting your hands above your head and clapping.
Yeah,
Just Just stand up, sit down, walk, move. Exactly. Drink with your left, like literally any of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things
yeah. Yeah.
right there and then. Just make you think differently. And it does change your state. And sometimes it's just that knock that can take you out of the place where you're at
Mm,
instantly.
instantly. Absolutely. So another tip on that idea, and I invite you that if you have a thought that says you screwed up there or
Yeah.
you didn't do this, is just pause for a moment, put your hand on your heart and say, and check in, who said that? Who said that? Because sometimes your thoughts are inherited BS that you've just carried forward. And when I say BS, I'm saying belief systems.
We know. I know that one
You
now.
knew that. I've done that so many times where I would be so held into or trapped, if you like, by things that my dad would have said. And
It's
so just
funny. I laugh at
pausing,
that
who
because
said
like,
that?
and then you're like, that's Dad's. That's not even mine. Crikey.
Exactly.
It's literally a please.
Yep. Thanks for your opinion. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Yes, because that is sneaky. Don't you think
Mm,
that that's sneaky? That we can have these inherited ideals and things that came from our childhood.
yeah.
And it's us remembering that only thoughts that we give permission to staying and taking up real estate in our head are allowed there.
Yeah.
Because we're not our thoughts, we are the witness of them.
Well, I just go back to a couple episodes ago. You are the boss of you.
Yep. Yep. That's a pivotal one.
Yeah. Just you are the boss of you. You can change anything and everything when you feel like it. When you feel like it. When
When
you
you feel like,
like it.
yes.
I think that's the you are the boss of you.
But you know, and that's actually a very important one too, because when you feel that, that means that's going back to that trust thing, right?
Mm-mm.
And trusting that okay, so maybe you're gonna let some pattern, run its circuit. And that's okay. Be okay with that. But trust that when you, and I know for myself that I've allowed things to continue and go along and for a certain time,
Yeah.
knowing that at some point, the example that I can think of is you and I've talked about this before about me putting on weight. And
Mm.
I put on weight and I didn't like it, but I did know at some point there was going to come a point where I just kind of said, hey, that's it. And it did. And I took off the 30 pounds and I've maintained that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I always knew, and I always knew, just it took maybe a wee bit longer than I would have preferred, but so be it.
I I think it's just when you were saying that, I was thinking you don't have to have it all figured out to
Yeah.
move. That's the other thing. You don't have to have it all figured out to move forward, but you give yourself some grace.
Yes, that's a beautiful one. Give yourself
I,
some grace.
I think just reminding yourself that, just give yourself some grace because, like losing weight is a significant. But, if you had the time frame I was going to lose this by this time and it was going to be this amount and everything, and you don't hit that exact target, you know,
Then
um,
the inner critic can come up and go, see, you
well,
broke your
you
word.
failed. See,
You failed. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you failed. But give yourself some grace.
Yeah,
Just give yourself some grace.
definitely.
And
And I have to giggle here too because my youngest sister's name is Grace. So hi, Grace.
oh, oh, and my daughter's middle name is Grace. So yeah, give yourself some Sophie. Yeah, and give
There you
yourself
go.
some yeah.
Yeah. Grace
Yeah.
and ease. And that actually is a beautiful remedy to you are not your thoughts, is where is grace and ease and harmony and flow? Because
Mm,
thoughts can kind of get us out of that vibe, right?
So even just, yeah, so when you're on that spiral, just look, stop and look where that beautifulness is. Where is your grace and ease? And once you can see that, you're like, okay, it's achievable. I can get back on there with what I'm dealing with right now. I
Yep.
think that's look at where your grace and ease is right now to remind you that you're alive and you've got it.
But that reminds me back to one of my favorite things that you say is everything is on your way, not in your
Yeah.
way. So even if you're maybe a little bit out of kilter, that you aren't in that flow of grace and ease, if everything is on your way, then you know it's there. You just maybe
Yeah.
took a little scenic route or a little detour.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that grace and ease is gone, right?
Yeah, one of my mentors, Sandra, she's just such a beautiful wee soul. You know Sandra. But
Mhm.
Sandra, um, I had a whoopsie, a whoopsie, a whoopsie, a whoopsie, a wobbly. I had
Oops.
a discombobulation. I lost my shite recently.
Oopsie.
About
Not
5 weeks ago.
you.
I know, I lost it. And she was so funny. She just went, and I love the way she just wrapped me in my arms and she just went, "Oh, you had a slip in your magnificence."
Oh, I like that.
And I went, "No, I didn't. I actually lost my." And she said, "Deborah, you just had a slip." And just even that, the second time I heard it, the first time I was like, "I don't think so. I lost my shite. I clearly lost my shite." But I love the way that she just reframed it. "Oh,
Hmm,
you had a slip in your magnificence."
hmm,
And it just, you know, if my negative thoughts are on that spiral and then suddenly I go, "Oh, I just had a slip of that makes sense.
hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did. That's it." And it allows you to move forward. Just another beautiful way of reframing that whoopsie. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think that that's an important piece because what I was thinking of when you said that was we are all sovereign beings. As
Yeah.
sovereign beings, we have crowns on our head. And
Yeah.
sometimes that crown can slip. And that's just a wobble, but doesn't mean the
Just
sovereign being,
slip in my magnificence.
yeah,
Yeah.
slip in your magnificence. Or whoops, my crown just came over on one ear a little bit.
Just slipped off a little bit. I think that's just you're human, having a human experience, go back to give yourself some grace.
Yeah,
You're here, you're gonna feel it. And even though Moira and I still have, we have over 80 years experience between us, we still slip in our magnificence.
of course, because we are in this. We're
Yeah.
here. Yeah,
And we bounce back by going back to the tools
that
that we
we
use.
share. Hmm.
We literally, yeah, walk our talk. Oh, okay. So clearly the tip is Moira and Deb.
Yep,
We're here. We
yep.
walk our talk. We do this. We have our own slip. We get back up. We bounce off each other. We go back to what's important to us, and it allows us to keep moving with grace and ease.
Hmm.
It is with grace and ease. So we are here for you,
And we get
listeners.
because we can guide you in that. But I just wanted to circle back about that. I love that slip in your magnificence
Yeah.
because I feel like it's such an important piece to just remind you you are a sovereign being. Whether you've slipped or not, you're still a sovereign being. That's um that's another John D. Martini-ism that you've shared before is um no matter what you have done or not done, you are still worthy of love.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah. No matter what you've done or not done, you're worthy of love. Yeah.
Hmm.
Just
And
it just makes you go, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I don't have
Oh,
to get caught up in all these thinking
yeah,
thoughts.
it's
It's like,
just yeah, I've got
ah,
this. Okay. It is. It just feels like, ah. And I know when Sandra said you slipped in your magnificence, I went, no, I didn't. I did
you
this clearly. And she just went, Deborah. And just the way she
just
just said,
needed to repeat it a few times.
yeah. And then I went, actually, you're right. I did. It was a moving moment. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Mhm.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Yeah. But it is. And no matter what you've done or not done, you are worthy of love.
Mhm.
And reminding ourselves of that.
So The other thing, talking about what we have done or not done, I'm just thinking about the masculine and feminine aspects that we all have within us, the being and the doing. Sometimes we get too caught up in the I did or didn't do
Doing.
this. That's all the masculine aspect. I was like, yes, but you are a being. You are that sovereign being. And as such, you are worthy of unconditional love and acceptance. Right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking, in fact, we often talk about our PEMS check-in. That's actually an important piece in this conversation about you are not your thoughts. Is very important to actually, I have all of my clients and students do their regular PEMS check-ins every day. And what we're doing is we're checking in on our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual pillars. Now,
Oh God, have we not talked about PEMS and we're this far through? What?
it's
Okay, sorry.
exactly at the right time.
Yeah, perfect.
What I also like to bring into that dialogue about the PEMS or the four pillars of our well-being is that's exactly how we can assess and find the balance of our own masculine and feminine or our own being and doing.
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
Because the physical and the mental are the masculine attributes. They're the doing attributes. And the emotional and spiritual, they're the feminine attributes. They're the being. And so when we get in touch and take care of our PEMS, we are actually making sure that we are whole beings balancing our own masculine, feminine, or being and doing. Does that make sense?
It does, and I think when you were saying that, I was thinking, so just recognize that, people, and go, I'm in my feminine.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump to masculine, or I'm in my masculine. I'm going to jump to my feminine. Just being able to recognize it. So when you see it, when you spot it, you got it, basically. So spot it and just go, okay, I can see this is where I am, and this is not gonna get me anywhere. If I'm sitting in my masculine and it's not working, then it's time to flip to my being.
Mhm.
Just being able to acknowledge all sides on people.
But it's also a time to recognize, because we all have them, we need the being and the doing, the masculine and feminine. And so but if we overemphasize one, we'll burn ourselves out. We won't be in flow. We won't take care of that which is for us to take care of. Right? And so that's the part of like, if you're in the doing and things start to fall off the radar, or agreements get broken or things start falling apart, maybe that's a sign to say, oh gosh, I need to stop doing for a little bit and just rest. Come into the pause.
Yeah. Give yourself grace.
Yes. Rest in the pause.
Yeah. I think very vital, very, very, very vital. When we think about our tips to remind you you're not your thoughts, this is also positive thoughts as well. So this is not just negative thoughts. And when I think about this, don't set unrealistic goals that you're going to stay positive all day. I really want to emphasize this, because there's people who just go, I need to be positive all day. When something bad happens, I need to find the positivity in it, and I need to be positive, and I need to be positive, and I need to be positive. Because if you're literally saying to yourself, I need to be positive, you're just going to attract
Yeah.
all the things in that you're going to have to be positive over, and it's going to be a force. So just keep yourself realistic. Just go, there's a negative thought. oh, there's a positive thought, and just keep yourself with that flow. But again, when we talked about the being versus doing, is recognize it.
Hmm.
Just, when you have conflict with others, they want to be seen, heard, acknowledged. So just even that yourself, when you're having this uh, wobble or whatever
Mhm.
it is, see yourself, hear yourself, and acknowledge it, and then you can actually move on. But don't try and put the blanket over your head and hide. Don't No, there's no hiding here. So if you can't do it right there and then, whatever you want to do to resolve this, put time aside in your diary and honor that.
Hmm.
Work on it. Yeah.
But the thing about, I completely agree with you. Don't go around making goals that I'm going to stay positive all the time. Because the thing is that because to be honest with you, all emotions and all reactions need to be felt. So what I like to think of is negative and positive are literally two ends of a spectrum. We get to choose where we hang out, because some
Mm,
people do hang out on the negative end of the spectrum, and
yeah.
others, gravitate towards the positive. But one must exist for the other one to exist. So
Yeah.
for all positive thoughts, the negative must exist.
Mm,
So for myself, I like to come to neutrality as much as I can. So to your point, a negative thing will happen, a negative issue will happen, some critical thing or thought or reaction will bubble up for me. And I can notice that, witness that, say thank you. That's that seen, heard, and acknowledged. Oops. Now what can I do to come ease back into neutrality? Because I don't
yeah.
want to stick at one end or the other. We can visit, right? And find our preferences. But I think finding neutrality is such an essential component here too. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And that is just flicking it, going, where what is positive about this situation? It's just that. Or if you're on a negative trance, what is, what if you're on a positive, what is the negative to this? Just to balance you.
Yeah.
If that, neutrality does get us through. And neutrality, the most action's actually done in neutrality
Yeah.
because it flows.
Yeah.
It's not forced, it's not awkward, it just is.
Yeah. Yeah. It just is. And people gravitate towards when you're in neutrality, you start to recognize the support around you, or oh gosh, not everything is for me to take care of, because look, there's somebody offering this, or somebody saying,
Well,
can
your
I do
eyes,
this for you?
yeah, your eye, it's a great place to be because you can actually see the beauty in everything. You can see
Hmm.
everything. There's nothing hidden. There's no hidden agenda. There's nothing hidden from it. It just
Yeah,
is.
it's almost like the lenses have been lifted, right? So that you have clear vision.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The the BS is dispersed. The cloud is gone.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if we say that, yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that. So I think I'm going to mention comparisons because when you're hearing other
It's
people,
important.
we jump into oh, they're always positive all the time. I need to be, or they've got this, or they're showing this, or and Moira and I have talked about this once before, well, once more than once probably, is about when you see on social media, you see the highlight reels, you
Yeah.
don't see the social media bloopers,
Right.
and
Yep.
I think recognizing that. So when I think about that, when you're comparing yourself to others, just pull yourself back because they're only showing one particular side. So stop comparing and go, what's right for me? What
Mhm.
feels right for me right now? And what's right for you now may not be right for you 3 months down the track. But right now, this is the best with what you've got right now. So what's important to me right now? Just pulling you back to that.
But that can also be the antidote to something like that, could actually just be gratitude,
Mm,
right? Because if you're comparing yourself, saying, oh, I'm not enough, or I need to do more, or because look at all that, it's like, no, maybe you just need to refocus, say thanks, they've got all this wonderful stuff, or this is the highlight reel I'm seeing. look around and see what you can celebrate and be grateful for right in your own space, right in you,
Yeah.
right? That can sometimes just be a thing of changing your language. Like, oh, I get to do this. I choose to do this. I love to do that.
Even that, I get to do this. I get to do this just flips the whole mindset to, oh, I get to do this. Okay. Go. Go. It's just a different thought process. I was to
It
say
is
that.
because you're not your thoughts. So therefore you can change the verbiage at any point to
Yeah.
feel more authentic, more aligned, more in touch with your soul,
Yeah.
right?
And that's how you can flip your mind out. I get to do this. Like if you can say that, you're literally, oh, I get to do this. Your shoulders go
Your
back. There's
posture changes. Yeah.
yeah, you get to do this.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
get to do that.
Get to do this. We have room for one more tip. I can't think of one as I think about this. Tips to remind you you're not your thoughts. Well, we will. Oh, she's gone for the tea bag. I
I
just saw
went for
her
a tea bag.
for a tea bag. The final thought on our podcast is a tea bag. Tea bags are better than tea.
Yogi tea bag quote. Actually, this is a beautiful one. I might have done this one before, but it's still a goodie. Give thanks for unknown blessings that are already on the way.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
That is a beautiful way to say you're
right.
not your thoughts. Give thanks for
Yeah.
unknown blessings that are already on the way. And that doesn't, yeah, that just feels like a big warm hug that says, yeah, I don't have to believe my thoughts.
Yeah, that's oh, what a crikey, those tea bags. Well, that summed it up, isn't it?
It
That
did.
tip even there. So if we gave you one tip, there's your tip. That's it, done. Wow. Okay, let's sum this up. That was beautiful. What a way to sum that one up, Moira. What a way. What a way to end that one. So grab your note-taking device, people, because we are just going to run through what we have, which is our tips to remind you you're not your thoughts. Oh yeah, so 1, 2, and 3 and 4 sort of all molded into one. This is how we started. So I don't even know where to start here. Tips to remind you you're not your thoughts. You are, but you aren't, is what I've got. And then I've got dot dot. You are your thoughts, but you're not.
Yeah. But that's when I said too, you don't have to believe them. So if
Yeah,
you
then,
are, but you're not, you don't have to believe them.
yeah. And then we jumped into trust.
Yes.
Trust being incredibly important to get ourselves through on any situation that's happening to us right now.
Yeah, definitely. The next one I put down was that when I talked about thoughts and emotions are what's called the fourth dimension. We know the third dimension, that's our physical body.
Yeah.
And then the next dimension around that is our thoughts and our emotions. And as such, it's a field that, and I love what Deb said. This is about you can lean in and you can lean out. You can be curious and celebrate. So you lean in and say, how do I feel dialed into this channel or on this frequency, this fourth dimensional thought or emotion. And if I don't like it, if I'm curious and go, I'd prefer not. Good. Lean back. Lean that back out. Right. So it's just this beautiful. And here I am leaning forward and
Well, I just realized I just leaned back too. I
yeah.
just went back. But it feels it just feels like it's yours. It's yours to
Yeah.
yours. It's
Yeah.
like my words go, it's yours. It's yours to lean in and lean out. It's
Yeah.
yours. It's yours. It's all yours. It's
Your
all
choice.
yours.
You get to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next tip I had was changing the state, and this is where I laugh. Laughter changes the state, and baby laughing on
Oh
YouTube.
yes, definitely.
That's Moira's favorite,
Yep.
baby laugh. But it just allows you to change your state, change your energy. That could be putting your hands above your head and clapping 3 times. It could be getting up off your chair, doing a stretch. It could be standing outside and feeling the wind, the rain, the breeze, the nothing, the sun on your face, whatever that is. It could be drinking from a different cup. It could be giving someone a hug, giving yourself a hug. Any of these things changes your state, and that is an instant,
Yep.
straight away. It doesn't have to be right. I need to leave my desk for an hour. This is
No.
actually, I can just go and stretch, and I can do something.
Yep.
And laughter is one of my favorite ones.
Me
Yeah,
too.
but
Me too.
state, whatever works for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Have some fun.
Yeah.
The next one I said was that when you have a thought, particularly when they kind of keep repeating, pause, maybe put your hand on your heart and say, who said that? Who said that? And that's what I was saying, that when I was really working through that chapter in my life, oftentimes it was my dad.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's that's what I was saying, is sometimes those thoughts that we think we are, or that is us, that it's actually inherited BS.
Yeah.
Inherited
Belief
belief system.
Belief system, which has been inherited to them,
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's how come it's so important to remember you're not your thoughts. Sometimes you are allowing a inherited or an ancestral thought pattern or BS belief system to navigate your way. And it's kind of like, nope, done. Let's close that one. Close that loop.
Yeah, that's the one. Which then the next tip I have is, you are the boss of you. You are the boss of you. So if you didn't listen to our podcast last week,
couple of episodes ago,
then jump in and listen to that, because if you would like to remind the tips that you're not your thoughts, you are the boss of you.
Yep.
Take that power back that you have let down, dropped, that you've dropped.
dropped.
Yeah.
The next one I have is that you don't have to have it all figured out. To give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
That you deserve grace and ease and flow. Where is grace and ease? That's when I said one of my favorite Debz-isms. It's actually a John DeMartini-ism. Is everything is on your way, not in your way, right?
Yeah. Just gives you, yeah, and just it's just a breathing. It's just the next tip I had here is, where is your grace and ease?
Yeah.
You're getting yourself frazzled. Where do you see your grace and ease? Where is it? Because once you can see it, you're like, oh, okay, I've got it. It just allows you to calm your farm.
Calm your farm. I was gonna say calm your nervous system, but calm your farm does it too.
Calm your farm. Those blooming farm animals. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Yes, peaceful in the pasture.
Yep.
The next one I have is where you gave your beautiful example of the slip in your magnificence. I think that's beautiful. That was a slip in your magnificence.
But I know, but even just saying that, it just makes you go, yeah, you're right. Yeah, actually, it's so simple, and you can hear Sandra say it to me, can't you?
Yeah, I can. But that's when you had said this too. You are a human having this human experience, and I added on to that. Yes, but you are a sovereign being always, regardless of the discombobulation or the thinking process or the BS that's going on. You're still a sovereign being. And so that's, I think, why that slip in your magnificence is such an essential reminder, right?
Yeah. The next tip I had was Debz and Moira.
Yep.
Moira and Debz. We are here, over 80 years of experience. Oh, even just saying that I have a physical reaction, that seems such a lot. I'm not 80. I'm not 80.
Yeah,
it's actually probably way more than that if we really looked at it.
If we really drilled down, I'm sure it would be more.
I think this is one that
it
Deborah's
just freaks you. It freaks you out so much that we have to just pause it there.
We just take that, yeah. So we are here. We walk our talk. The tips we give you, the strategies we give you, the techniques we have used in our world and have got through. We have used with clients in their world and have got through. We get through. That's all there is to it. So we are here for you. Reach out to us. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
My next one was I actually did pull in another John D. Martiniism where I said that whatever you have done or not done, you are worthy of love, unconditional love from yourself and from everyone. I really like that one. I think that's and that actually pairs beautifully with what I was just saying about you being a sovereign being. So regardless of what you've done or not done, you're still a sovereign being worthy of every iota of love.
Yeah, it's time for us to give ourselves grace because there's so much people are beating ourselves up for, beating themselves out there. There's so much, and it's like, come on, it's okay.
Let it go. Let it go.
Just been through all of this. Hello. Yeah.
Yep.
The next tip I have is where Moira talked about the masculine and feminine, or the feminine and masculine, which is the being versus doing, or the doing versus being, and being able to recognize that in your world and pivot if necessary, but also rest in the pause, rest in those moments of just going, okay, no wonder, because I'm so in the doing, I'm exhausted with this, I can't see a resolution. And that changing your state, the being does flow. Or if you're in the being and it's not getting done, then pivot back to the doing.
You got to get out of your chair and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the way that rest in the pause, just rest and reflect, and that pause would be out there. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one I have here is where you said about not suggesting that we don't make goals to be positive all day, for instance, because as soon as we say, that's it, it's only going to be this, then we're going to attract and create that which is not. But always remember that it's a spectrum, right? Positive, it's not right or wrong, good or bad. Positive and negative are two ends of the same spectrum. So that's when I talked about the neutrality, right? So neutrality allows us to have clear vision. We're still knowing that negative and positive exist, but we actually get the BS gets lifted, the clarity and the authentic nature of who we are is illumined that way, right?
Yeah. I think yes, and we mentioned, Moira mentioned PEMS earlier. Your PEMS is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. If they're out of alignment, your decisions are different, your thoughts are different. If you've had an amazing sleep, your thoughts are different to somebody who's had 2 hours sleep or 1 hour sleep. So, being aware of your PEMS is incredibly important for us to remind ourselves that we're not our thoughts.
Yep, definitely. And then that was this is a tip that you often bring into our conversations, is that everybody needs to be seen, heard, and acknowledged, including you. You must see, hear, and acknowledge yourself. So if thoughts come up, you are not the thoughts, but you need to see, hear, and acknowledge them. Otherwise, they can keep looping and get into crazy making circuitry.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we know if you have a leaky tap and you can see it and you can hear it and you don't acknowledge it, like you can see it and hear it and like, no, I'm not going near it. You know what's going to happen? That leaky tap's just going to keep leaking and leaking, and it's going to get worse and worse. So
like
deal with the
Chinese torture. There's a Chinese torture, the dripping tap.
okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that would just be so annoying.
Wouldn't
That
it?
would be,
Drive me crazy.
yeah, that's yeah. But when I think about that, all emotions play a role. There's that movie,
Oh
Feelings or something.
yes. Yeah. That
What's it
animated movie. Is it called Up?
Is it Up?
I can't remember. But
Up's the house one with the balloons in it.
Oh yeah, there is that one. But the movie that you're referring to is the one where you get the little animated girl has all the different she visits all the emotions. That's actually really good. I like that one.
So listeners, tell us what that, we're not Googling it. Tell us what it is in the chat so we all know what we're talking about here. But that's a great one. So just knowing that all emotions play a role together. I think emotions. I don't know what it's called. I'm not Googling it. Listeners, I'm leaving that for you to tell us.
Yeah.
That's your job. We've done the podcast. That's your job. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next tip I had was comparison.
Yeah.
And comparison is one that can take us on one hell of a journey. One hell of a journey. That's sometimes not a nice journey until we can see the beauty in it. But whew, so that comparison, look at the highlight reel over the blooper reel. Look at the blooper reel over the highlight reel. Look at that. Everybody has both sides, that you're only seeing what you're seeing in front of you. And one of the beautiful thing I think Moira said was, what's right for me right now?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
stopping and going, what's right for me right now? I'm going to turn off social media, or I'm going to walk away, or actually I'm going to engage, whatever that is.
Yeah.
What's right for me right now?
And start saying, I get to do this. I get to do this, and feel gratitude. I think that that's an important part too, that sometimes when we're comparing ourselves to others, we're forgetting to acknowledge and be grateful for what we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with what you have and who you are. It's just appreciate it.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then the last part that I have is I need to read out my teabag quote again, which was so beautiful, because it just feels like this is such a beautiful way to wrap up these tips. That
Yeah,
my yogi teabag quote
No, I love it.
is to give thanks for unknown blessings that are already on the way. Beautiful. Give thanks for unknown blessings that are already on the way. They are.
Yeah. That sums it up.
It does.
That sums it up. So that is our tips to remind you, you're not your thoughts. Yeah, give thanks to the unknown blessing on their way. Crikey. Then the standard, Deborah, are you playing life to the fullest? Are you playing life to the fullest? Are you giving thanks to the unknown blessings that are on their way? So after listening today, I would love to know, and Moira,
I would too. I would too.
We would. Yeah, I would too. We would love to know what was your favorite tip that you're going to take that's going to help leapfrog you to the next level. What is that favorite tip that you're going to take today that's going to be your highest priority action step that's going to leapfrog you to the next level? We would love to know what that is. But thank you for joining us today. We trust you got some wisdom and insights.
Golden nuggets.
Yeah, some phenomenal golden nuggets in the process today. Thank you for listening. We will see you, or you will hear us on the next podcast. Cool. Thank you, Moira. Thank you, listeners. Thank you.
Thank you, dear listeners. Thank you, Deb. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.